Tonight on News 5 Live, the family of Porfiria Morales alleges that her killer had made a previous attempt on her life. A 17-year-old is charged for the stabbing death of Kirk Lamb. And we'll take you to Hopkins, where the iconic Ella School spot is being rebuilt. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
Great Belize Productions Channel 5, proud winner of 9 Caribbean Media Awards for 2021. Best Investigative Report, Best News Item, Best Coverage of People with Disabilities, Best Financial Literacy Journalism, Best Videographer, Best Television Commercial Spot, and the People's Choice Award, with 2 special mentions for Financial Literacy Journalism.
Everyone, including our elderly, needs to stay connected with their loved ones. With Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program, senior citizens can sign up for 10 megabytes of unlimited internet at a low monthly cost of $25. Citizens over 65 can sign up with a valid ID and receive free installation plus 1 month free on selected broadband plans. Visit a Smart showroom near you for more information on how you can enjoy Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program. Smart, bringing people together.
Excuse me, sir?
Yeah.
But how can you pay with your phone?
B-Box.
What? What is B-Box?
B-Box have been his newest rewards program.
Really? Where I could get it from?
Man, check on the website bbox.bz or you could download it from the App Store. And if you still don't know, check that young lady there and she will hook you up.
I will surely do so. Good afternoon, miss. Can you hook me up with B-Box?
Belize Commercial Laundry and Linens is a new, automated, state-of-the-art and safety-engineered commercial laundry facility in Belize, offering a full array of top-quality laundry and linen services for Belize's healthcare and commercial sectors countrywide, including hotels, resorts, and restaurants. For more information on how we can serve you, contact us at telephone 227-3396 or info@belizelaundry.com.
On Friday, October 7th, the stars will be shining over the Belize Civic Center when the Bennis Interoffice Basketball League presents the Ian Mariano's All-Star Classic in collaboration with Racina's Import. The Belize Civic Center will be a night of glamour, glitz, and celebration, where the primetime superstars from the IBL will be entertaining you, the fans. It all begins at 7:30 p.m. with the top guys from the 10 teams competing in the Boulevard Store Skills Challenge. Then at 8 p.m., this is why I'm hot. The hottest sharpshooters from their respective teams will compete in the Cellular World 3-point shootout.
Let's get ready to rumble!
8:30 in the night, the high flyers in the likes of Lindsey Young and Gregory Fisher from Grace Kennedy, Jason Ellis from Coast Guard, Michael Goff from HRCU, and Brighton Augustine from Coast Guard will be dunking their way to a possible 2022 Prestige Auto Sales Slam Dunk Champion. The grand finale will be at 9 p.m.
If you are what you say you are, a superstar.
The top 12 primetime superstar players from Division A, led by Devin Daly and Lindsay Cooper Lopez, will take on the top 12 superstars from Division B, led by Francis Arana and Ian Renee, in a monster showdown in the Ian Mariano's All-Star Classic. This is as big as it gets.
Just another level!
Bring out the entire family for a night of fun and entertainment and ton loads of giveaway. Sponsors: Racina's Imports, DMW Supermarket, Mahit Wholesale, Barefoot Hotel, Cabana Used Clothing, Midway Wholesale, Mirage Belize, Car Guys, Harris Import, Prestige Auto Sales, Cellular World, Ocean Store, VIP Wireless, Nando's Wholesale, Benny's Home Center, Crystal Water, Sprite, Our Aid, Bramblers, Channel 5 and Channel 7, Brem, Wave, Love FM and More FM. Let's get it on!
¿Reúnes los requisitos para la amnistía 2022? Esta es tu oportunidad de aplicar. En el sitio web www.immigration.gov.bz encontrarás una lista completa de todos los documentos necesarios para la amnistía según los criterios para los que eres elegible. Asegúrese de reunir todos los documentos generales y de respaldos necesarios y las traducciones necesarias. Haz tu cita en línea con cualquiera de nuestros centros de registro a nivel nacional. Ahí presentarás tus documentos y completarás las entrevistas requeridas. Después, se te entregará un recibo de aceptación. Mientras esperas una decisión sobre tu solicitud, puedes seguirlo en línea y saber cuándo será el pago en la oficina de tesorería del gobierno más cercana. Una vez completa, recibirás tu tarjeta de residencia permanente que muestra tu estado legal en Belice. Obtenga más información sobre la amnistía 2022 y cómo presentar tu solicitud en línea en www.immigration.gov.bz. Prepárate, el plazo de inscripción será del 2 de agosto al 30 de noviembre de 2022. Amnistía de Belice 2022. Continuemos construyendo Belice juntos.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Tuesday, October 4th. I am Sabrina Daly. Tonight, there are additional details being shared about the deadly chopping incident that claimed the life of 71-year-old Porfiria Morales. The elderly woman was hacked to death by a neighbor on Saturday morning, following a brief exchange of words while Miguel Angel Gomez was reportedly trimming the hedges outside of his home. According to Morales' son, a previous attempt had been made on his mother's life with a machete, and it was only because a bystander had observed what was about to take place that she was able to escape grave injury. As we reported on Monday, there has been a history of enmity between Morales and Gomez. We also spoke with Gomez's younger sibling, who said that his brother surrendered himself to Benque Viejo police without incident following the fatal chopping. Esduit Morales told News 5 that on a previous occasion, Miguel Angel Gomez swung at his mother with a cutlass and narrowly missed her neck.
He saw when the guy just came to the side of the fence there, and he swung the machete at my mother. He hollered at my mother, "Watch out, Moncha," because that was her nickname, no? And my mother had to duck down, and he also had to swing his head to the side. If not, he would have been caught with it. So he reported, and then they arrested him. And so the magistrate only ended charging him $150, and he set him free, only telling him that he cannot be with a machete at the creek. And because he isn't even working with the town council to be there doing anything with the machete, but he still was out there with the machete. He went to the river with machete.
I never expect that to happen, no? Like how we are families. She is my son's aunt, and that's why I feel bad.
I understand that after the chopping, the police had to go looking for your brother. Can you share with us anything you know about that part of it?
Yes, I could share that. I think that one officer called me to give him a photo of my brother. My brother is the one that is working there. And I tell him that I will do that. But then somebody told me like how my brother just come and went to my niece's house, and he called. He said that if the lady dead, he said yes, and he told me that please call the police to go and get him in there. He didn't resist.
Police have arrested and charged a minor with last Monday's stabbing death of Carl Kevin Lamb Jr. on Antelope Street Extension. The 17-year-old is charged with murder in the presence of his mother. Lamb was attacked by a group of young men last week Monday as he walked on an unnamed street in the area. One of the attackers is believed to have stabbed him, and he was pronounced dead on arrival at the Carl Kushner Memorial Hospital. Former Belize Defense Force soldier Albert Morera was the last person to see his ex-wife alive before she went missing in October 2018. Several days later, the badly decomposed body of Felina James was discovered along the coastal road approximately 2.5 miles from La Democracia village. Not far from her corpse was the burnt vehicle that she had been driving. But tonight, Albert Morera is a free man, following a murder trial which ended in a no-case submission. What initially appeared to be an airtight case against the estranged husband unraveled in court when the Crown failed to call on 2 supporting witnesses to help in sealing a conviction. The matter, which began on September 22nd, was heard before Justice Richard O'Neill Sancroft. Morera was represented in court by attorney Oscar Salgado and had been on remand since October 2018. Coming up, making Belize a connecting hub for Central America and the Caribbean. Details when we return.
Hello, friends. This is Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word.
The Bible says, "Then Pilate called Jesus and said unto him, Art thou the King of the Jews? Jesus answered him, Sayest thou this thing of thyself, or did others tell it thee of me?" Throughout my travels, I have found in every home old Bibles, pianos, organs, clocks, antique furniture, and other treasures that have been handed down from one generation to the next. But there's one thing you cannot get to heaven with, and that is a hand-me-down religion. As one old deacon used to say, you can't get to heaven on your mother's apron strings or your father's coat tail. Jesus must personally be embraced. John Wesley, the founder of the Methodist denomination, discovered that being a Christian involved a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. He had always thought that he was a true Christian until one day on a ship caught in a storm on the Atlantic Ocean, fear got a hold of him. He noticed the only people on board who was not fear-stricken were a group of Moravian missionaries. Later, when the storm was abated, he asked one of them, "Were you not afraid?" "Afraid," said the Moravian. "Why should I be afraid? I know Christ." And then looking at Wesley with disconcerting frankness asked, "Do you know Christ?" John Wesley for the first time realized that he did not, and there on that ship gave his life to Christ. You say that you are a Christian, but I ask you the question that Jesus asked Pilate, "Sayest thou this thing of thyself, or did others tell it thee of me?" You can't get to heaven, friend, on a hand-me-down religion.
Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Since travel restrictions have been lifted, there has been an increase in tourist arrivals to the Jewel. In an update, the numbers have been up to almost 90% of the pre-COVID figures, and it is believed that the upcoming high season for the industry will see those numbers return and possibly surpass 2019 figures. Minister of Tourism and Diaspora Relations Anthony Moller says that they are optimistic about the complete rebound of the industry. Still, he says that there are active campaigns to signal that Belize is open to travelers.
Through the international airport, we are about 80-90% of where we were in 2019. The borders are still lagging a little bit behind, but remember, these things take time, and we still don't have the other bus coming into Belize through Mexico. And so we believe that by the high season of next year, January, February, March, we should be fully on track of where we were 2019.
This is with overnight tourists. Let's
Overnight.
talk about cruise, because I think that is rebounding quicker, or has been rebounding quicker than overnight, right?
No, overnight has been doing well. Cruise as well, but again, we believe that by next year we should be back where we were 2019. We're telling the world that we exist. There's still a lot of areas in this world that don't know about Belize. There's still places in Mexico that people don't know about Belize. South America, Africa, Asia. And so we're telling the world that Belize exists. We are a first-class destination in terms of our natural resources. We're improving our product on the ground, and we will continue to invite people to come to our shores.
Over the past 2 weeks, the Ministry of Tourism and Diaspora Relations has been actively attending high-level meetings with regional leaders and tourism counterparts in the Caribbean, as well as engaging with Belizeans living in the U.S. In the Cayman Islands, a delegation of senior officials from the Ministry of Tourism and Diaspora Relations, headed by Minister Anthony Moller, attended the Council of Tourism Ministers and Commissioners of the Caribbean Tourism Organization. The objective of the meeting was to highlight opportunities to market products more effectively to both the Caribbean region and the international tourism marketplaces. Minister of Blue Economy and Civil Aviation Andre Paris also attended that meeting as an integral partner in the local industry. So what's the future of tourism for the region? Minister Moller says that as Belize is set to assume the tourism chairmanship for SICA, the goal is to advance the country as a hub for connectivity between Central America and the Caribbean.
Myself, the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism from the Bahamas, from Cayman and from Dominican Republic. So it was a high-level panel, and we discussed the future of tourism aligned with what is going on in the aviation industry. We continue to say that Belize can be a bridge between Central America and the Caribbean, and I believe in that strongly. In January, we take over the tourism chair for SICA, and I will work hard to merge the discussion between the Caribbean and Central America. I think there is great potential for inter-regional travel, and so we're working with certain airlines to ensure that we build capacity within the region. On his 21st speech, the Prime Minister announced that the management group for the airport will be investing $120 million in the coming years. If you really look at the airport, you only have problems on the weekends, right? And so my strategy has been, and our strategy has been, talk to the airlines to ensure that they're not only focusing on coming on the weekends, but throughout the entire week, so that we don't have that bottleneck on the weekends.
What about the recent meeting with Belizeans living in the diaspora? Minister Muller says that the meetings in New York and Washington, D.C., for which Prime Minister John Briceño was present, explores the opportunities available from Belizeans living in the diaspora for the socio-economic development of the country.
We had somewhere between 350,000 and some people say even up to 700,000 Belizeans living all across the world, primarily in the United States. And then more research, and I said, well, remittances, especially during COVID, have gone up significantly. And so we're now reaching close to $300 million a year in terms of remittances. And I looked around and again and looked all across the country, and a lot of second homes, a lot of Airbnbs, a lot of small resorts, restaurants are being opened by people who are returning home. And then we started the tours, and more people said they've been in the United States or wherever for X amount of years. They're ready to come home to the warm weather. They've built their second homes. And so those people are doctors, engineers, laborers, teachers, nurses, you name it. And we believe strongly that people in the diaspora can help with the socio-economic development of Belize.
The Minister of Civil Aviation and senior officials from his ministry are still in Montreal, Canada, attending the 41st Assembly of the International Civil Aviation Organization 6th Plenary Meeting. During his address today, Minister André Peres emphasized on Belize's plan to improve its airspace. This follows recent discussions to advance Belize's aviation industry as a cargo hub for Central America and the Caribbean, independently of tourism and agriculture. But what does that mean, and where do we even start?
The most important thing that we're looking for is that we are reaching out to partners who are willing to listen, and we are showcasing what we as a country can do. As you all know, we have to take advantage of the strategic location that we have, Belize being, as I mentioned in my speech, being in the heart of Central America and the Caribbean. And many experts in the aviation industry are telling us that we are ripe for choosing this path of developing the aviation industry by looking at this air cargo hub, bringing all the different other components that should go along with it, mainly cargo maintenance, the distribution of food, especially as we try to bridge between Central America and the Caribbean. So, and also tying it together with air travel as well. There are so many other components I'm missing that we need to explore.
This is only a first step that will include a feasibility study and seeking investment partners. And so for this Belize air cargo hub to be realized, the ministry is turning to countries that have successfully explored this aspect of the aviation industry.
I've talked to different people who have been very much have been successful in taking the aviation industry to higher levels, namely like the country of Qatar and as well as Singapore. These are the two countries we have had talks with. And another important country as well that is showcased and is doing it by action is none other than our good friends of Taiwan. They have a Cargo City hub, and it's very crucial and very instrumental and strategically located where they are in Asia right now.
So how do we build the capacity of the PGIA to foster this kind of development?
Well, how do we start? First is by the feasibility studies. We need to have some studies to show that it is viable. I am of the opinion, I am confident it is viable. So this the first is to have a long-term plan. This is what we have been laying out for quite some time, because we cannot be moving haphazardly on this plan. And I've said before as well, this is not a 1 year, 2 years plan. This is going for 10, 15, 20 years. It's going to take years to develop, but it will start moving slowly. We're saying that we have to start as of now.
After the break, News 5 introduces Culture Tuesday. We'll have that and more when we come back.
Life can be tough when a loved one suddenly departs. Dependents of the deceased are sometimes left alone to pick up the pieces and may be stranded financially. Fortunately, the Social Security Board provides survivor's benefit to ease the burden. Survivor's benefit is paid to a widow or widower, children under 18 years, or up to 21 years if attending school, or dependent parents. A survivor's benefit can be either a grant or a pension. Want to know more about survivor's benefit? Visit our website or contact any of our offices to have someone assist you. Also, be sure to visit our Facebook page and give us a like to stay informed. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
Say hello to DigiTV. Step into the world of digital entertainment. DigiTV gives you access to 100+ channels on your TV or your mobile device at unbeatable prices. Take your shows with you wherever you go. It's a new level of freedom. Enjoy your favorite entertainment, sports, family, Latin, and local channels. No more fighting for the TV remote. You can access whenever you want from 2 devices at the same time. DigiTV is for everyone. And with the fastest fiber and mobile networks in the country, you are guaranteed to have the best experience ever. There's no installation required. Sign up for the Max package for only $40 monthly and get the first 2 months for just $30. For a limited time, get 50% off a Fire Stick when you sign up. Download the DigiTV app from the Android or Apple stores. Just WhatsApp us at 608-8888 to sign up. It's that easy. Watch, experience, enjoy DigiTV today.
My name is Dr. Eck, and I'm a pediatrician at the Belize Pediatric Center. COVID-19 vaccines are safe to be used in persons with chronic illnesses, including children. Even children with asthma, diabetes, a heart condition, or any other illness can be vaccinated. Children with chronic illnesses have a greater risk for complications due to COVID-19 compared to healthy children. Get your child vaccinated at school or at the nearest vaccination site.
In our inaugural episodes of Culture Tuesday, a cultural showcase that features the social, ethnic, and traditional aspects of Belizean life, we look at 2 stories. The first is an update on the reconstruction of Ella's Cool Spot. It's a popular restaurant and night spot where tourists and local visits in Hopkins Village for the best food and cold drinks. But in June of this year, the establishment was intentionally burnt down. Though momentarily fazed by the incident, the owner regrouped and decided to muster whatever courage and money she had left and rebuilt the business. With help from her supporters, she is now planning an she is now planning on another epic reopening of one of the South's most iconic cultural entertainment spots. And its timing could not be more traditional than Garifuna Settlement Day. News 5's Marian Ali reports.
The drumming will be in full swing come November 19th across the country, but particularly at Ella's Cool Spot in Hopkins Village, the preparation that accompany the traditional Garifuna Settlement Day festivities are always epic. Ella Carr, who owns the establishment, recounts how she got her business off the ground, and culture was a fundamental part of it.
That's the day when I first opened Ella's Cool Spot. That was 2015. That was on the 19th of November, you know, and I opened with a small dining area with my tables out of my house, my refrigerator, my stove, you know, and we designed the area like real cultural, you know, with the plantain trees, cassava, you know, and with all the cultural food like hodo, darasa, bundiga, you know, and that's like a traditional thing for me.
But 3 months ago, Ella's Cool Spot was reduced to ashes after somebody was captured on video surveillance purposely setting the place on fire in a cowardly act of arson. Although the crime significantly set her back, Ella said she decided to focus on rebuilding instead of dwelling on the loss.
What happened, I put it behind, you know, and it hurt me, but with all the support and also support from my banks and BTB as well. So we get support from all over the GoFundMe and also the community, even from international guests and also my family members, you know. And was not easy to put all of this together, you know, a lot of sleepless nights.
With a yeoman's effort and help from kind-hearted people who did not want to see a permanent closure of the business, Ella survived the most challenging phase of her life. Now, as she looks towards rebounding, she says that the new structure boasts better features than the previous one.
We have 2 bars on site, so we have the beach bar and we have the upper deck bar. We have a better gift shop, you know, and also an office area and a bigger kitchen, bigger dining area. Now I have a better restaurant, you know, and work on our service, on our food, you know, and employ a lot of people. Right now we're working on designing the kitchen with all the industrial materials, so our customer can get their food faster and better quality.
There is also that cultural touch that sets Ella's Cool Spot apart from the ordinary restaurant and bar.
This is a Garifuna community, you know, so we try to keep everything cultural, you know, like our beach bar, you know, we have the Garifuna flags, you know, all the stuff that the Garifuna culture that we use, we're gonna be displaying it out, you know, for our customers. On a daily basis, we do the Garifuna drummings, like dinner time. We'll normally have the kids from the village. They'll be normally coming around with their drums.
With finishing touches being finalized, Ella is now looking forward to November 19th, the rebirth of what was, but in much grander style.
We're going to be open on the 19th of November. We're going to have all the cultural food. We're going to have Garifuna drummers, dancers, so you guys can look forward for it.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Marian Ali.
Carr said that her total investment in the new building were well over $150,000. If you've noticed the construction of new food stalls on Mahogany Street and the digging up of that stretch of road between Lake Eye Baptist Church and the nearby police precinct, That's because works are underway to transform that main artery into a commercial hub for food vendors. The idea, according to everyone involved, is to attract visitors to the community, boosting economic activities that are already taking place in the St. Martin's de Porres area. Our second story for tonight's Culture Tuesday comes from News 5's Isani Cayetano.
Easily the most recognizable face among the many vendors on Mahogany Street, Ainsley Castro eagerly anticipates a much-needed makeover for his place of business. Naked Chicken has been in existence since the well-known professional cook took a leap of faith and ventured off on his own a few years ago. The idea is to transform this busy thoroughfare into an organized center of activity for small businesses, particularly for food handlers like Chef Ainsley.
Now a nice project. First of all, they don't mention this to us, so now that we look forward to it, and the promise is looking like it's going to be fulfilled, because you know, that's a thing where everybody expect, and also what we like about it, free of cost, right? So you know, we benefit a lot for it, so I don't think nobody should complain, and everybody look forward for it. I'm excited about it. I can't wait.
It's part of an initiative being led by Minister of Tourism and Pickstock Area Representative Anthony Mahler, together with the Belize City Council and Lake Independence Area Representative Cordell Hyde.
We're going to change all the booths on Mahogany Street and improve them. We're also going to give all the vendors some money so that they can buy new equipment, and we'll provide some training and marketing for them. We believe that that gives us a flavor of the heartbeat of Belize City right there, and if we improve the entire area, it will create some level of energy and combustion in that area whereby people can make a decent living for themselves.
Mahogany Street traverses the Pickstock and Lake Independence constituencies. For years, it has been the driving force for economic activity in the area. The facelift will enhance business. It will also improve the aesthetic of the community.
As you know, Mahogany Street has created its own organic type of local economic development in that area. Many of our residents who live in that area, who resides in that area, do their day-to-day business. They are their own bosses. And whenever we can collaborate, in this case with the Ministry of Tourism, Anthony Mahler, the Minister of Tourism, in really enhancing the area, I would say, enhancing it, put some level of order, some level of structure in it, really retrofitting most of the booths.
New wooden kiosks of various sizes are being built along the stretch to replace existing structures that are the worse for wear.
All the booths will be redone. They will have, most of them don't have access to water. We'll ensure that they have water. There's going to be parking spaces and public bathroom facilities to be used.
The Belize City Council, in fulfilling its commitment to the municipality, is taking care of road repairs as well as the use of the adjacent buffers. Belize Water Services Limited is presently doing preparatory work ahead of the refurbishing of the carriageway.
We'll be concreting that street along with the Ministry of Tourism. We have to say it's a collaboration, it's a partnership with the objective of really having that area serve not only for the Belize City residents but visiting tourists.
And that is what many, including Chef Ainsley, are banking on: the influx of tourists into an area of Belize City that is rich with culture. Citizen security and public safety are paramount to the success of this project.
I bring a different level of food because they got a lot to do with tourists also too, right? So, and I have a variety of food, so you know my spot was the lake shot when that open, you know, so I will bring it on, and you know, yeah, be a lot of love, because if you understand bathroom what they boat, and also I got bus stop, you know, I got tourist police, so they give it just like how they mentioned, and it look like it's gonna be like that also.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.
And still in Lake Independence, residents of Holy Emmanuel Street, those living in the Gungulung area, can now enter and leave the neighborhood without having to traverse London bridges. The Belize City Council was in the area today assessing work that is presently being undertaken with the assistance from Lake Eye Area Rep Cordell Hyde and the Ministry of Infrastructure Development and Housing. Together, they are pushing a road through the community. News 5's Isani Cayetano reports.
15 years at the back of it now, and from the back here,
I was always wondering when I get road back here.
For many years, the area of Holy Emmanuel Street, known as Gongolong, has been an elaborate system of raised wooden paths that are colloquially referred to as London bridges. Residents in this disadvantaged community access their homes by crossing these makeshift boardwalks that are often difficult to negotiate and dangerous.
This area is very dear to myself and my councillors, because in 2018 and in 2020, we walked these areas which were London bridges. And we made a pledge to the residents living in this area that we will do away with London bridges. That was part of our manifesto. And so, as you can see today, this access road that really connects Holy Emmanuel direct to the highway is being earthened.
It may not be the best of streets, but residents of Gongolong are grateful that they can now move in and out of the neighborhood freely. They can even drive into the area which was once inaccessible to vehicular traffic.
Man, it's a blessings, man. A blessings from the Father and from the City Council and Mr. Cordell Hyde. All anybody, you know, all anybody have a step, they have something to do with this, you know, understand? So we really appreciate this street here, because the years, type of years where they walk in a London bridge and more water, drop up in a big hole. And this could get done for the past 10, 12 years when the UDP government made no power.
Regrettably, it took another administration to recognize the need to assist and make good on that promise.
It might not be the best of streets, but it will serve the residents. They no longer have to traverse this network of London bridges, but can now walk into their homes, and obviously the residents here are very, very happy and satisfied with what we are doing here.
What is the extent of this project in terms of the scale? Because the Gongolong area is known for, like you said earlier, networks of London bridges.
It's significant. Whenever you are able to lead or drive change such as this in respect to infrastructure, where it gives better quality of life for our residents. That's very important for us as leaders in the city. We feel that by just starting this project, we now have to look at the drainage of the area, ensuring, and as you can see, we are now digging this canal, and it will be completely dug out. We plan to have the culverts installed, the network of drainage which will connect from the drains into the canals and the canals into the river.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isana Cayetano.
When we return, Minister of Rural Transformation, sustainability and resiliency should be basis of decisions.
Everyone, including our elderly, needs to stay connected with their loved ones. With Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program, senior citizens can sign up for 10 megabytes of unlimited internet at a low monthly cost of $25. Citizens over 65 can sign up with a valid ID and receive free installation plus 1 month free on selected broadband plans. Visit a Smart showroom near you for more information on how you can enjoy Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program. Smart, bringing people together.
So here we have 2 households, 2 kids doing what kids do, and 2 loads of stained covered laundry. One uses regular detergent, but only Fab has tough stain lifting power.
Wait, really? That's right. To get rid of all types of stains, use Fab. Adding Fab laundry detergent to the wash not only fights the toughest stains, but the colors won't fade. And Fab leaves clothes smelling fantastic. So pass it on.
Because your family deserves the best in laundry care. Fab, taking care of your laundry so you can take care of your family. Find it at your nearest store. Exclusively distributed by Big Limited.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benqueviejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
On Monday, Minister of Rural Transformation, Oscar Requena, delivered the keynote address virtually at the 4th Urban Economy Forum in Toronto, Canada. Requena posited that the events of the last couple years, including COVID, the war in Ukraine, the impacts of climate change, high fuel prices, and cost of living have forced us to rethink how we make decisions now.
In my estimation and in our thinking, sustainability and resiliency are two of the most significant considerations that are to be the basis of our decisions and actions, as they are critical to our immediate and future development. In Belize, while it is utterly important that we build urban sustainability and resiliency, our efforts are equally focused on strengthening our rural and peri-urban sectors to reduce urbanizations. We want our people to work, grow, play, and develop in the places where they live. Our population estimates show that there's almost an even split between our urban and rural population. Notwithstanding, we do demonstrate a pattern of urbanization, which is a characteristic of our Caribbean Smile Island states. Consequently, the vulnerability in the urban spaces continue to be worsened by the challenges associated with our inherent low coastal zones that continue to be subjected to sea level rise, informal settlements arising out of urbanization, heat stress, and heavy precipitation resulting from global warming, economic conditions, and the general characteristics of most of these sites. To adapt and to mitigate these vulnerabilities, municipal governments are called to deliver improved services with the aim of enhancing all elements of the urban space. However, the limits of the financial position and fiscal space of and for urban governments to address these increasing challenges are significant deterrents for advancing this aim. Therefore, it is necessary that the approaches to achieving sustainability and resiliency must be all-inclusive, participatory, collaborative, evidence-based, data-driven, and innovative.
According to Minister Requena, the government of Belize recognizes its role in creating the enabling environment for local and urban economies to thrive. He said that with the support of the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center, the government recently took on an initiative to develop a concept paper. This is for the advancement of a project to build municipal climate resiliency and an initiative for support from climate financing windows.
We have increased the level of collaboration and synergies between and among local and national actors to support service delivery infrastructure, improvements, eco-friendly public transportation, poverty and flood mitigation projects, including improving the housing conditions for the neediest. From a strategic standpoint, our ministry is forging strategic objectives for municipalities to build sustainable financing mechanisms through enhanced sources of revenue and prudency in expense management, climate resiliency, enhancement of the legal and regulatory framework, and the digitization of administrative and permitting processes. These national and local efforts are intended to build a sound footing, particularly for the urban governments to improve their institutional capacity to leverage opportunities to attract funding and financing to continue building urban economies while adapting to and mitigating climate change impacts.
As we have reported, the Belize Supreme Court granted the Belize Bus Association judicial review in a case it is bringing against Floralia and the Department of Transport. BBA is contending that there are improprieties in relation to Floralia's entry into the public transportation system. We caught up with Minister of Transport Rodwell Ferguson over the weekend in Belize City, where we asked him for a comment on the court's decision and the way forward.
In terms of the judicial review, basically that is in the purview of the Attorney General. We already present to her our part of the case and hope that when we go to court then we are successful. But again, everybody has the right to use the court of Belize. At the end of the day, whatever the circumstances, we have to accept and work with what the court said because we are a democratic country. But I feel very cognizant that we are going to be victorious. If we are not, then we have to proceed as planned. When Floralia came into existence, I said this is what I want to see in Belize, 2022 buses. And so when they make the proposition, I said then we are going to work with you to figure out how it can be done because we live in a free economy. Competition is real and it makes our country grows. And transportation is what makes our country goes wrong. Without transportation, then nothing will happen. So we have to provide adequate and reasonable transportation for the people. And they must have a choice what they want to ride.
And as we have told you, the Minister of Transport has set a deadline for December to allow members of the Belize Bus Association time to present their plan of action for mandatory updates to their fleet of buses. The deadline has caused quite a stir among bus operators, but Minister Ferguson says those operators were given enough time to prepare for this next phase.
Transportation, they go through a reform. With a study from the IDB, we have some consultants in right now, and we want to have maybe tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So you're the commuter, you can decide which bus you want to run. But we can't stop you because then you come with a better quality. What we have is inadequate, and I'm very frank with that. We have school buses, some of them 35 years old, which should never be on our highways.
They're essentially saying that by December is too short a time, laughing it off the table even.
I gave them that deadline a year and a half ago. Initially it was for June 2022 and extended to December 2022. That doesn't mean that all the buses must go afterward immediately. But I want to see the transformation begin December 2022, and the Ministry of Transportation, as the ministry responsible, will decide what will happen after that.
Just ahead, NAC launches Behavior Change Communications campaign to promote safe sex.
Biodegradable plastics. When talking about plastic, don't you always hear people say that this plastic or that plastic is biodegradable, eco-friendly, environmentally friendly, green, or even ecological? Well, the truth is that these words and many others like them are often used to give the impression that the product is better for the environment. When shopping, the terms to look for are bio-based, compostable, or environmentally degradable plastics because they are tested against specific standards to ensure that they are broken down with minimal impacts to the environment. But what does biodegradable really mean? To put it simply, it is the breakdown of something into water, carbon dioxide, and biomass by the action of living organisms, usually bacteria or fungus. However, people call some plastics biodegradable, but they never fully break down because they still contain plastics made from petroleum or inorganic material. The plastics just break down into tinier pieces called microplastics, which then enter the food cycle through the ingestion by animals that people eat. Don't be fooled, check your labels. Click on the link below to see what you can do to help end the nightmare of single-use plastics. I'm Alison Castillo, and now you know.
Everything must come to an end. A much-needed vacation, or even a good book. What about the world? How will it end? Should we be worried about the end? Frightened even? What does the Bible actually say about The End. Tune in right here as we discuss The End.
Your life just got a lot less complicated with Belize Bank Contactless MasterCard Debit Card. Introducing our Standard Debit and MasterCard Platinum Debit Cards. Now you can make purchases anywhere MasterCard is accepted with one tap, pay and go. Your contactless card never has to leave your hands, especially in these times. And your card is embedded with multiple layers of security. Platinum card holders get to enjoy extra benefits like price protection, purchase protection, trip inconvenience, and luggage protection, just to name a few. Start enjoying a cashless lifestyle today with the Belize Bank.
Messi! Off goal! What a goal from Leo Messi! What an incredible strike from Leo Messi! Neymar and Messi is standing over this. Messi! Off goal! What a goal from Leo
Great entertainment stays with you, and we bring you great entertainment. Next Gen, the ultimate digital experience.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marion Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes, go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time, and so are we.
Everyone, including our elderly, needs to stay connected with their loved ones. With Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program, senior citizens can sign up for 10 megabytes of unlimited internet at a low monthly cost of $25. Citizens over 65 can sign up with a valid ID and receive free installation plus 1 month free on selected broadband plans. Visit a Smart showroom near you for more information on how you can enjoy Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program. Smart, bringing people together.
Senior officers in the Belize Police Department will be receiving training in leadership and management skills over the course of the next 2 weeks in Belmopan. Senior officers development training kicked off this morning with its first cohort of commanding officers. Commissioner of Police Chester Williams says the training was developed to increase the efficiency of the police department. The training will include aspects of management and leadership. We spoke with Superintendent Leslie Wade, the Director of Training at the Belize Police Department in Belmopan today.
Confused when it comes to what they believe that they are saying. So areas when it comes to managing and of course having this knowledge to enhance.
This morning we have commenced the first cohort of the Senior Officers Development Training for the Belize Police Department. This is a training particularly in the area of leadership and management for a senior element of the department, which mainly comprises of formation commanders. As soon as we are through with them, which is within the next 2 weeks, then we also bring in their deputy commanders to also participate in same training. As I speak about management, they will be receiving training in the area of role of a manager, the process of management, the role of a leader, your leadership skills, leadership qualities. They will also receive training in the area of communication, communication skills, how do you manage assets, and also how you manage human resources. As a department and as a director of training, I believe in leadership is one of the key as it relates to our managers out there. I believe in leading from the front. The only way you'd be able to lead from the front is if you have the basic knowledge as to how to lead. And that is why from time to time I have seen where people have been placed in managerial position and they are not equipped with the knowledge or the know-how to carry out their daily duties. And so training is continuous learning, and that is the reason why we have brought this cohort of senior officers here, which we believe is critical at this time, especially in this era that we are living, for them to come and gather the necessary knowledge, the necessary skills and tools so that they can go out there and effectively manage their formation.
The National AIDS Commission, NAC, is encouraging Belizeans to be prepared and always saddle up through the launch of its Behavior Change Communications campaign. The campaign was launched on Monday to promote correct and consistent condom use, as well as available services including pre-exposure, prophylaxis, PrEP, HIV self-testing, and hepatitis B vaccines. A release from NAC notes that the objective of the campaign is to encourage persons at substantially higher risk of acquiring HIV to utilize and adhere to safer sex practices and test regularly for HIV and other STIs. Cindy Jones, the communications officer at NAC, was on Open Your Eyes this morning sharing about the campaign.
What makes this campaign special then is that we are partnering with local influencers who we are calling our campaign ambassadors. So we have a lot of fresh faces, and we're hoping that by partnering with these influencers, we will be able to amplify our messages as well as expand our reach. So that's what makes this campaign special. Another thing that I want to let everyone know is that this isn't something that we thought of overnight. We've actually been planning for this campaign for months. We've been working with our stakeholders and our CSOs to develop these messages that people are seeing up here on this screen.
I mean, that's clever.
Some of them have a little bit of a shock factor to it, but sometimes that's what we need in the community that we're living in. We need to give people a little bit of a shock to have them, you know what? Let me take a step back and take notice. This campaign is a comprehensive prevention approach. None of these services can exist in isolation to each other. And I say that because, for example, when it comes to PrEP, in order to access PrEP, you need to test negative for HIV. Like Kieran mentioned, when it comes to PrEP, PrEP protects you from HIV, but it does not protect you from other STIs. So then you need to utilize a condom every single time you have sex. There's no, yes, I'll use it today, but tomorrow, you know, we could get away. No.
Last week, we took you inside the Belize International Institute of Neuroscience on University Drive to find out more about their EEG technology and the good it is doing for brain patients. Tonight, we take a look at a second of medical equipment at BIN that is helping Belizeans to address a number of conditions including autism, Parkinson's disease, anxiety, and even depression. The procedure is called transcranial magnetic stimulation, or TMS for short. The TMS machine uses a certain type of magnets to correct the brain. Dr. Andre Cervantes, the medical director at BIN, told us more.
We have also gone into other types of technologies. Today we're talking about one in particular, and this is called transcranial magnetic stimulation, TMS for short. And TMS falls under an umbrella of what is called non-invasive brain stimulation. So for example, you have, like in the world of mental health, for example, or in neurology, you have surgeries that exist when medications no longer work, like for Parkinson's disease, obsessive compulsive disorder, major depression that doesn't fix with anything. They're working along the line of schizophrenia to see if certain surgeries can work, but surgeries are invasive. You have to open up the skull and you have to put in a chip, an electrode, which is connected to a wire to be able to change the way an area of the brain works so that you can have improvement in a patient. These are very small numbers of people who go for these surgeries, and but it is being done. And non-invasive brain stimulation, and more specifically TMS, works with the premise of using a magnet. So you create a magnetic field, and if you use a specific magnet in different areas of the brain, it goes changing. Remember, the brain has electricity, so it goes re-educating from the surface of the brain deep down. You go setting the parameters for the brain to go back to normality. It's like a refrigerator. You open your fridge and you have options 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's say 0 is off, 6 is the coldest. You could set your refrigerator to 1. So you can calibrate it back, you can take it back to where it should be. So depending on the condition, if it is autism, if it is attention hyperactivity disorder, if it is depression, if it's because the person is very anxious or stressed out, if it is because the person has restless legs, if the person has Parkinson's disease, if they have leftover injuries from stroke or from brain trauma, all these neurological or mental health conditions, this type of technology can help.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5release.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.